Welcome back to Sports Chat with Greg and Bryan. Uh, I am Bryan.
On the other side of the room, I'm Greg.
Radio. And Greg, the NFL draft happened last week.
Last weekend.
Okay, for those of you that aren't in the United States, if you do happen to watch this, they took up time on a major television station, ABC, during prime time from 6 o'clock until 9 o'clock in the middle of the primetime viewing hours to do the NFL draft.
Not one day.
Right. 2 days. If that doesn't tell you how important the NFL is in the United States, nothing will.
I guarantee you they were betting on it too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, probably. And before we get much further in this, if you enjoy the video, please click the like button. If you subscribe, if you like what we're talking about, please subscribe. And Greg, why don't you rock and roll with this?
So, Bryan, to get started, the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to just go through, the first round. Okay.
Okay. Which, how long did the first round take?
I didn't, dude.
3 hours.
It was a show amongst itself.
Yeah.
Guys coming out there dancing and this and that. It's like, I get it. People want it. It probably raised a ton of money.
Yeah.
But anyway, here's what happened. This was what the teams had as a first round pick. Everybody knew Las Vegas Raiders would get first round pick, right?
which is so sad.
So here's the deal: the only way the Vegas Raiders could have screwed this up is to trade it away. I think.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, but sometimes you trade it, and you look at some of these things. They'll say, "Oh, this pick down here, 10 came from the Bengals, from the Falcons." People traded up to trade down to get players for less money. They're like, "Oh, we don't need this to pay our player. We're going to draft for this with money because he's not going to get drafted until number 7 or 15 or 22." So they're going to move, and they're going to from the Bengals. The New York Giants got from the Bengals, and they probably got a ton of money for it too. But anyway, so these were the first. I'm going to give you the 32 picks, all right?
Right.
But I'm going to give you the first top 20.
Okay.
I was gonna divide them in half, but if you look at number 20, you'll realize why I got to 20. We're gonna give you the first pick overall.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because this was the poor guy. A great guy.
Yeah.
Played at 4 different schools. Heisman Trophy, national champion. Brought Indiana to fame for the first time in football, and here you go. Got picked by the Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh, he's going to have such a bad year.
You know what? I hope he turns out like Troy Aikman.
Yeah.
Right? Troy Aikman got drafted by the worst team, Dallas Cowboys, and they built around Troy, and then they got some players there, and then, I don't know how many Super Bowls they won.
At least 2.
At least 2.
Right.
And he's a Hall of Famer. He's a great broadcaster. He's very knowledgeable. Other than him being a UCLA guy, I like him a lot.
But and for those of you that may not know, and I don't profess to know really anything about the Raiders other than the fact that the reason they're the number 1 pick is because they were the most horrible team in the NFL last year. And you don't get to be the most horrible team because of bad luck. You get to be the most horrible team because you don't have an offensive line, because you can't run the ball. And just one draft is not going to fix this problem.
I mean, it could if they were to say, like I said, they would trade this pick away. But realistically, if they trade that pick away for 2 number 1s and get 2 offensive linemen out of it, and then they're like, okay, we're going to take 2 years to build. I mean, you could do that. But this is a once in a lifetime guy right here. Yeah. Like, he's really good. He's got a good head on his shoulder. So, kudos to him to be like, there are some players out there that said, I'm not going to go play for that team.
Yeah.
I mean, but he could have played, in Canada ball. But anyway, so these were the first 20 draft picks.
Okay.
And if you look at the number 20 draft pick, there's a reason why I put it to 20 and not split it in 16. That's Mekhi Lemon from USC. Yes. And he went to the Philadelphia Eagles. That is a great pick for them.
Yes, it is. And a great pick for him.
It's a great pick for him. He's going to that's a game changer.
Yeah.
For them.
I went through and I was trying to figure out before we were going to do this what was, going to the experts, what their analysis was of each team's draft.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like one of the things was every single team, the lowest anybody got was a B. Some teams got A pluses.
No, that's not true.
A. Well, no, on the one I looked at.
Oh, the one you looked at. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I looked at the CBS one.
Okay,
Yeah.
the one that I looked at, and I was going, this is not possible.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing, and this is what kills me. Anybody who thinks, oh, they drafted David Bailey as the second pick of the edge, they don't need an edge rusher. What they need is an offensive lineman. That was a horrible pick. They don't know. Nobody knows.
They don't know what they're going to do with David Bailey.
But they don't know.
They may trade him.
This is true. But my point is, if you look at any team, there's 53 guys on an NFL team, 51, 52, 53, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
And to be able to say, oh, well, they drafted 8 guys, that's just going to make them the best. No, it's not. It's ridiculous. And anybody that runs around saying that, with the exception of, I'm going to throw one person, anybody that runs around saying, oh, they did it, they blah, 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 oh, they had a great draft, or oh, they had a bad draft, they don't know. I'm just going to put that out.
Who's the one person?
Mina Kimes. Mina Kimes was on ESPN. She lives and dies football.
Mm-hmm.
She is probably the smartest football draft person you could ever find, because she is on it. And I really think that if you find Mina Kimes and her rating of the draft, that would be the one I would look at and go, okay, that's a good way of looking at it.
Well, Mel Kiper.
Okay.
I mean, he's the guy that's been doing it for years,
yes, okay.
right?
I'll give you that.
Okay. I don't know him, so that would be the guy I would say. And I think he's usually pretty good. But, I mean, the Rams got their next quarterback, Ty Simpson. He's going to play under Matthew Stafford for a couple of years. They don't need him right away.
No, they don't.
And he's going to be their next quarterback. If that's what you believe, that's why they drafted a quarterback in the first round, right? And not, and I mean, I don't know if he's the second best quarterback or whatever, but if you look up there, we were talking about UCLA when in the WNBA draft, right?
Right.
They had. I mean, look at Ohio State. 3 of the top 7 are Ohio State.
Wow, 3.
They had 11 people drafted, 11 or 12 people drafted in the overall, and they had 4 in the first round.
Wow. Okay. So yeah.
And then the next behind that, Texas Tech, I believe. Wow. But anyway, we're gonna the next group here, Pittsburgh, the Chargers. I don't think the Chargers. It's hard to say, but I don't think the Chargers did well. But I don't know if they had a lot to deal with. I mean, they're picking 22, right? I mean, the Rams picked above them, right?
Yeah.
So some of these teams, but the Kansas City Chiefs had a very good draft this year.
Well, they got
according to these experts,
right? But I mean, I'm going to stick by my statement.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and you're right. I think I did leave out Mel Kiper.
Yeah.
I think that Mel Kiper probably does a really good job.
Well, that's all he does. That's
right.
his job.
So
from day one, Mel Kiper he's already looking at next year's draft.
Okay. But I just, I would just have a real hard time with people evaluating drafts. And I just don't, look at
since you have such a hard time doing that.
Yeah.
Let us look at the draft pick grades.
Okay.
And here is our top 5 graded teams.
See that not everybody gets an A+.
Apparently.
I mean, this is grade inflation. I mean, really. So everybody gets a trophy. Everybody gets an A. I don't buy it.
The Las Vegas Raiders, there's no way they couldn't get an A+.
They could have picked you and me, and they 2 greatest picks ever.
You need a slow old guy to throw the ball. I'm your man. Right? I tell my kids when they're playing basketball.
hey, look at those two guys. They're not very big, but they're slow. We want them on our team.
There you go. No, that's what everybody. That's what they said. But you know, it,
Everybody gets an A.
but if you talk to like the lady you talked about at Melcott,
Mina
that's their
Kimes.
jibe. I mean, their job. That's what
Right.
they do. They're talking to the inner circle of each team. Like, what do you guys need? And they can look at football and be like, they don't have an edge rusher. They don't have this. They don't. So I
Yeah.
think you're a little bit wrong about that, but
Okay.
it is all just a crapshoot.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get into it, and I was going to, but and I feel bad. I'm gonna bring Ryan Leaf up, okay?
Okay.
But he was a no-brainer,
Right. Yeah. No, he was
and
physically.
the
I mean, look
guy.
at, he was like 6'5", 230 pounds. Could throw a ball
I mean,
90
had a
yards.
great college and a great college career,
Mm-hmm.
and
It just didn't
his
translate.
brain wasn't there.
Right. It just didn't translate to the NFL.
You could look at
Well, look at Brock Purdy.
Brock. Well, hold on. That's
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
But it goes the other direction with the people that are drafted outside the first round, right?
Right.
If you look at what they got, yeah, they definitely on paper bettered their team.
Yeah.
Okay, on paper, that's all that this is. Bottom five, the poor
The Bears.
Chicago Bears. Well, they.
But okay, now here's the thing. How do they? And I'm not expecting you to know the answer to this, but so how do they determine that the Bears didn't do well?
Well, kind of by what they picked in each round, like the Rams got a C plus, right?
Right.
They picked a quarterback in the first round, which they need a quarterback, and I don't think he's a highly rated quarterback, right?
Right.
But they picked a quarterback that's going to fit within the system they're in, that Matthew Stafford's in, and he's probably a lot like Matthew Stafford, so that's why they picked him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that would be an A then, right?
That would be
You picked someone that you thought was right. I don't understand how you can tell somebody they got a C minus. By the way, the Jacksonville Jaguars, my God, if they got a C minus, that's going to be really bad for them because they were not great last year. We'll see. We'll really see, because and by the way, I'm one of those guys that really likes to be like, these experts say they do things, and I like to be like,
you were wrong.
You're wrong. And I'm like, I'm all over that, right? Football is a crap shoot.
Yes.
Baseball, 162 games.
Yeah.
They're going to have bad times and good times, but you could probably say these are the teams that are making the playoffs at the very beginning of the season.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll
We're
find
gonna
out
find
if the
out,
Detroit Tigers make
yeah.
it to the World Series.
My favorite part of the NFL draft is Mr. Irrelevant.
Okay. Red Murdoch.
Red Murdoch out of the University of Buffalo.
What position does he? He's a
linebacker.
Okay.
Red Murdoch. Now, the good thing about Red Murdoch is he's going to play.
What team drafted him?
Well, here's the crazy thing. There's a reason why it's orange and blue up there. Not only did the Broncos get the last pick, they got the second to the last pick as well.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, I didn't put him up there. But yeah, the Broncos got the last two picks. Okay, but look at how he's progressed at Buffalo.
Yeah.
Okay. He actually set the record, NCAA record, for forced fumbles.
Wow.
Right? So I think he's going to be all right. I think he's going to be good.
Yeah.
I was looking at the history of Mr. Irrelevant over the last 15, 20 years. Well, Brock Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant in 2022, I believe.
And how much did he sign his new contract for?
Yeah, so he's
like $165
he's
million.
won a Super Bowl he's won an MVP, I believe.
No.
He went to the Pro Bowl. He went to the Pro Bowl,
and he made it to the NFC Championship.
There is one Mr. Irrelevant that has won a Super Bowl. Played in 256 games.
Who?
Ryan Suckup for the Kansas City Chiefs, the kicker.
He was. Oh, okay.
Right,
Mr. Irrelevant.
But the last two, and then there was two more. The last are now both playing for the Rams, still playing for the Rams. 2023 and 2024, I believe, maybe 2021. They're playing for the Rams right now. So Mr. Irrelevant is actually not so irrelevant anymore.
Right. I know that.
But they do have a Mr. Irrelevant party in Newport, usually, I think it was. But they also have an entire group of people that head that party up.
Right. Well, and it's been going on for years
It's been going on for a long time.
because there was a guy, and the first time I remember it, the guy's name was John Tuggle, and he got drafted. He was the last draft pick for the New York Giants, and I want to say it was in the 80s. It was when Bill Parcells was the coach. No, not Parcells. Yeah, it was when Parcells was the coach, and he not only did he make the team, he played. He was, he was a real good guy.
John Tuttle, yeah, for sure.
And one of the what happened to him ultimately was he got cancer. And
You're talking Tuggle.
He passed away.
Right.
Tuggle, yeah, John
Mm-hmm.
Tuggle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. 3 Mr. Irrelevants that have won the Super Bowl. That have been on Super Bowl teams.
Oh wow, yeah.
1994 Mr. Irrelevant Marty Moore.
Okay.
He played in 112 games. 1999 Mr. Irrelevant Jim Finn for the Bears. He played in 106 games.
Wow. Okay.
And then it kind of went downhill from there for a while. Well, and then, Brock Purdy's played in 57 games. But DeJuan Johnson is playing for the Rams right now. And what's the other guy? Oh, Grant Stewart is playing for the Rams as well.
Okay.
My research says. So Brock Purdy's the next one that's going to probably do something very good. But Mr. Irrelevant's been going on since 1936.
Really?
According to my research, the first Mr. Irrelevant was Phil Flanagan for the Giants out of Holy Cross. Okay? He was drafted in the 9th round, and he was the 9th pick. Back then, they had 1 pick per round. There was 9 teams. So you think about that. He was the 81st overall pick. And then the next year, they went, or 1930, they went to 10 teams, so the 100th pick, and so on and so forth. But now, you're talking about, 257 is the last 3 years. But,
yeah. Okay.
But also, the team that has had the most Mr. Irrelevant picks is the New York Giants.
Oh.
The Raiders have 7 of them.
How many do the Giants have?
9.
Okay.
The school with the most Mr. Irrelevant picks is Alabama. The one team you will not see on here as a Mr. Irrelevant pick is USC. Everybody is relevant that comes out of USC. All right, but no. Buffalo is just got added to that list because of this guy. But I like the Mr. Irrelevant because I love the underdog. Normal for a Mr. Irrelevant to make it in the last 10 years than not make it.
Right.
My thought pattern is money. He's not going to require as much money, but and they're going to look at him and be like, okay, look, he's improved himself every year. It'll be fun. And I love the Broncos, so that'd be a great story too. So, but they got 256 and 257, I believe.
Nice.
So yeah. So anyway, that was just a real quick take on the NFL draft, which went on for forever. So anyway, there we go, Brian. What do you think?
Spectacular.
Yeah.
Very well done.
I mean, I think it's cool, but let me know what you think.
Yeah.
I didn't grade anybody. I took the grades off everything else, but I did agree with some of those grades. But there are people that did grade this Mr. Irrelevant, like they believe he's going to make it.
I would think so. I mean, I'm rooting for him.
Not a lot of spots available.
No, but we'll find out.
Yeah. So, I mean, they drafted him because they thought if we're going to draft somebody, we need linebackers. So
get somebody who can play.
Maybe he can do it, right?
Right. You got it. Well, hey, if you enjoyed that, please click the like button. And if you like the content of our channel, please subscribe. We appreciate that very much. Greg, do you have any final thoughts? Any final additions?
No, I don't.
Thank you for watching very much. Appreciate it.
Give us a comment. Let us know what you think. Have a good one.